Greetings and salutations, and welcome to Flintlocks and Fireballs, where a handful of mad actors will attempt to survive the treacherous waters of Dungeons and Dragons and the curious lands of Wildemount. I am your host and dungeon master, Jason Phelps, and I am joined, as ever, by Robbie, Hupperdook Bellicon, Sam, Hopper Fluke, Burns, and Ellie, Supper Puke, Sparrow.
Supper Puke? Oh, that's gross.
Welcome to this very special episode, courtesy of the Wizards of the Coast, as we are doing an extra special one-shot from The Explorer's Guide to Wildemount.
It's been really scary because we've had the setting book and we're not allowed to tell anyone.
Yes.
It's been very exciting.
Obviously, by the time this comes out, we can. By the time this comes out...
But right now we can't.
The guide may be out.
It should be out. Well, actually, it might be out in a week if you're listening to this immediately.
Ooh.
Because basically they're bringing it out the week before the book comes out. So depending on how quickly you listen to it, it might or might not be out.
The Explorer's Guide to Wildemount is the fantastic new book from Wizards of the Coast. It is a campaign guide, the setting of Wildemount, part of the same setting that the show Critical Role takes place in, created by Matthew Mercer. It is this absolutely lovely 304-page setting guide.
This stuff is in depth.
Yeah,
seriously, it's amazing.
It's super in depth. There are there's a whole bunch of setting specific information about the story of Wildemount, the factions and societies. There's a gazetteer or a gazetteer. I'm not really sure. Like Matthew Mercer, sometimes they get strange pronunciations, as well as a really fantastic. Some really fantastic character creation options. Included in that are some special race elements, like the Hollow One, 3 new subclasses, one for the fighter, the Echo Knight, and then also the Chronologist and Graviturgist as wizard subclasses, part of the magic of Dunamancy. That is unique to that setting, as well as a heroic chronicle as a way of interestingly creating your characters and giving them a rich background that ties them into the setting of Wildemount. Included in that are 4 sample adventures, of which we will be playing a portion of one today. These adventures can be found in Chapter 5 of The Explorer's Guide to Wildemount, and they are designed to take your characters from 1st level to 3rd level. We're going to be doing a few changes to begin with, in order to show off some of the special backgrounds and subclasses of the adventures. We will all be starting at 3rd level.
So that's where you get your cool stuff from subclasses.
Because I've decided to start us in a slightly unusual manner for starting this particular adventure, we will also be doing things in a slightly odd way as well. But so if you want to find out how this goes in the book, get the book and have your Dungeon Master play this for your party, or do so yourself if you prefer to DM. Before we continue, I would actually like to do a good old player and character pronoun check as we just introduce our names, our pronouns, our characters' names, and our characters' pronouns. I will go in reverse order of... actually, I'll go in alphabetical order, because that makes sense. Bobs, would you like to introduce yourself and your character, please?
Hello, I am Robbie. I use she, they pronouns. I will be playing Damien, who uses they, them pronouns.
Excellent. Sam.
Hi, I'm Sam. I use he, him pronouns. So does my character, Idris.
And Ellie.
I'm Ellie. I'm going to be playing Tick. We both use she, her pronouns.
And I'm Jason. I use he, him pronouns, and I will be playing literally everybody else. So I use a variety of multitude of pronouns.
You use all the pronouns.
So, on that cheerful note, unless we can think of anything else I need to mention?
No, other than thank you to the organisers of Podcasts of Wildemount for letting us do this and inviting us to be part of it. And
This is amazing.
just on the
Thank you
off
so
chance,
much.
hey Matt Mercer, if you're listening, you never know.
He's very busy.
I doubt it,
I
but
doubt
just
it.
in case,
Just
I
in
want to have
case.
said hello.
Yes, thank you for writing this
same.
ludicrous
Yeah,
thing.
thank you for
and
writing
also
it.
the many other assistant writers and so on. There's a full list of credits at the start.
Oh
of the
yeah,
book.
very much.
This is the,
It's-
it is the
Also,
work of a
all
great
the
team.
artists.
And
Thank you.
oh my
for
goodness.
God,
beautiful.
the art is gorgeous.
Look at all of this art. I'm showing you some.
It's a bit weird to
Oh.
discuss art over an audio medium, but your art is amazing.
Oh yeah, the art in this book is fantastic. All right then. So, without further ado, let us dive into the gnomish town of Hupperdook and the adventure Dangerous Designs, and begin Flintlocks and Fireballs. Our land stands on the sabre's edge.
Our cities are a powder keg.
Brother chains brother, no one's free. A life on land is short, you'll see.
So gather your muskets, gather your spears, we'll plunder the shores of Calcinea. No kraken, storm or spell we fear, so come and sail with us, my dear.
It is a chilled, misty evening as you begin to approach the mountains of the Silberquell Ridge. The three of you met a couple of nights ago at a wayside inn along the gravelway path that leads north through the Marrow Valley between the town of Feldwyn and the town of Hupperdook, which is your destination. As you approach, the sun fades in the sky, and just as the last light goes, you hear the faint sound of a whistle, and then explosions. There's a moment of panic. Has the war come here already? Have Jorhassian soldiers already begun to spill out of the earth and attack this mining and industrious town? But as the blooms of coloured light appear over the tops of the city, you realise, no, that's just an evening in Hupperdook. Hupperdook, the resplendent home of the gnomes, is known for its work hard, play hard, get an early grave worth earning attitude. Which is an actual saying amongst the gnomes of the city. So, as you make the rest of your approach towards the mountainside city itself, there is the distant clamour of explosions as the partying begins, and the scent of a recent rain on the air as you walk along the muddied path. With the festivities already begun, most of the town, you can see, has gone up towards the elevated section of the city known as the Idle Works Shelf. Alight with colourful lanterns and streamers. You can hear the music echoing down from above, hundreds of feet up the stairs of the mountain. You, however, begin approaching the southern end of the city and the wide open yards of, well, the quiet dark fields, I should say, of the assembly yard. You can see, even as you begin to approach the lower city, there are massive forges and partially constructed war machines at the centre of the Empire's military production. The city's industry, however, has been abandoned for the night. The workers beginning already to unwind in the celebrations of the upper city. And the lower city, by comparison, is now much quieter, much more relaxed. Up above, in the distance, you can see how the shelf rises up. There's much gaiety, much mirth to be had, but that is not your destination tonight. For the three of you are here on a mission. Damien, you received orders not a short while ago to venture out to Hupperdook to conduct a jailbreak. As a secret agent of the Kryn dynasty, you are here to rescue a fellow member. And as the three of you are entering the town, this might be a good opportunity for each of you to describe what you look like. So actually, let's start with Damien, please.
Okay, they are tall, about 6.5 foot tall, broad-shouldered, tan skin that if you took a little closer look, sort of has grey undertones, pointed ears, and bull horns. Not huge ones, but substantial. If you ask, they will tell you they are a tiefling. If you know anything about biology, you might work out that they are in fact half minotaur, half drow. But in the Empire, not going to mention that part. They wear a heavy helmet that sort of makes the horns look like they come from the helmet if you don't look too close. And hidden, they have a tail, but it's easier to keep that out of sight. Very cow-like tail. They're carrying a sword and shield, and have sort of yellow golden eyes and a copper nose ring like a bull's one. I can't remember the actual name of that
septum
one.
piercing.
Septum, that's the word. Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Behind you, there are two more figures. One, a dragonborn. Idris, if you'd like to describe yourself.
Yes, so I suppose at this moment sat on his riding horse, whose name is
You are the
Gwyneth.
only mounted member of this party.
Yeah.
Easy.
You see a dragonborn who has azure blue scales and piercing yellow eyes. He has a head crest that kind of hangs down a little bit like dreadlocks, and that's adorned with various bits of jewellery all the way up. And he has dark blue robes on that look almost more religious than wizardly, but he is definitely a wizard because you can see at his side where a sidearm might be belted, there is actually an athame, which is obviously an arcane focus. On the other side, he has a regular dagger, and underneath his robe, just poking out ever so slightly, there is a long, scaly tail. On the bridge of his snout, he has a pair of Pisnay-type glasses, which often he's uses when flicking through his spellbook.
Idris, sat upon your riding pony. Is it riding pony or riding horse? Riding horse. Yep, definitely. You are able to see the rooftops, because this is a gnome town. And all of the buildings are very small.
Everybody's tiny.
With the exception... with the exception of the forges and the workshops, which are comparatively massive and need to be to support the Empire's siege engines, as you begin to pass through residential housing, everything is almost adorably tiny. And passing behind you, perhaps a little envious of your mounted approach into town, there is Tick. Tick, would you like to describe yourself?
So Tick is very, very skinny, very slight. She's about 5'6", so not crazy tall. And everything about her is monochrome, is probably the thing that stands out the most. Dead white skin and a very sort of cheekbony face with a scar through the eyebrow and a scar through the, going straight across her mouth, through her upper lip. Black hair that's sort of shaved at the sides and slicked backwards with a white streak in it, sort of a little bit like Rogue from X-Men. No eyebrows and quite deep-set eyes with black irises with a little tiny bit of gold in the middle, which is the only bit of colour you would really see on her. A long black trench coat that's buttoned up quite high. and quite sort of heavy, gothy black boots. And probably the most weird, notable thing about her appearance is a big ear expander that she's wearing. It's quite large, and it literally has a clock in it, a working clock that is ticking away, telling you the time as you look at her. And if you get close enough to her, you will hear ticking, not just from the one clock in her ear expander. You will hear several different tones with ticking. You have to be quite close up next to her, but you'll be able to hear multiple types of ticking coming from her clothing. Also, hanging from the coat, from one of the buttons, is a very small bat hanging upside down, resting there right now.
If you were to listen closely to the bat, you might hear the sound of clinking, like tiny chains.
Yeah. Also, race-wise, she's probably a little bit confusing to look at if you're somebody from this world, because if you'd seen an Aasimar, she's got kind of the same sort of bone structure that you would expect from one, but she does not look angelic very much.
People assume you are human.
Yeah. She's a fallen Aasimar for anyone who's wondering, basically.
So,
yeah, human but slightly implausibly pale.
the three of you make your way into town. What is your first order of business? You have a mission to conduct.
Was there a contact? Was that? Am I remembering this right?
So there is a potential contact.
There's a contact.
There's a contact you have. Your mission, just as a gentle reminder, is to free an agent of the Kryn dynasty, a Goliath by the name of Sken Zabris, an Echo Knight actually, from the Gearhole prison, the notoriously difficult to escape prison, which is actually burrowed into the side of the mountain. Because of the tall workshop yards of the assembly yard in front of you, you can't actually see the Gearhole prison from where you are. You would need to walk through the streets and get a little bit closer to get a view of it.
Mm-hmm. So how do we want to start? Want to scope out the prison? Want to go to the Soot Swallow? I've got a contact there who can get us in with some people.
Is that a building we'd all actually be able to fit in?
Might have to crouch.
I think I'm going to have to crouch.
I think you're going to be
Quite
crouching
honestly.
everywhere.
Great. I love this country.
Yes, well...
Well, you came here.
I did.
As you going through, Tick, you've never actually been to Hupperdook before, so you know the name.
Oh, I thought I had. I'm sorry.
I mean, well, no, you have, but it's been a long time since you
Okay.
have. And now that you're thinking about it, you're kind of having to double check your directions a little bit to recall exactly how to get to the Soot Swallow Lodge. You do notice there is an elderly gnome, puffy white hair, bald on top. Quite a lot of puffy white hair, no beard, but you can just see a little bit of nostril hair coming out of a very wide nose he has. And he's got this open air sort of machinist workstation filled with clockwork and various bits and bobs, and he's just busy cleaning up at the end of the day. And seeing the unique appearance of your party, he kind of looks up, takes a pair of glasses, scrubs them, peers up at you. Oh, hello
Nice
there.
clockwork.
Oh, thank you very much. I made it myself.
It's good.
Thank you. You points to some bits. Just doing some work for the latest Tinkertop project. So sorry. You must be new. Hello. I'm
Hello.
I'm
All
Orby.
Tick.
Unnerved.
Hi.
Right. If you look.
Hold on, he gets down off the horse, because this is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yes. Orby, who himself is 3 foot high, has been craning his head right back to look up at you, Idris.
Hello, I'm Idris.
Hello there. Yes. If you're looking for somewhere to stay, I'm afraid you'll need to... He gestures towards, you can see what is a giant sort of winch lift on the side of the mountain. You'll need to use the lift if you want to get up towards the Idleworks shelf.
What's that?
The Idleworks shelf. It's where most of the inns are. It's not proud you're not going to places like the Soot Swallow.
That one.
Where would that be?
Yeah. Say we were interested.
I mean, are you sure it's a bit of a rough place?
Well, then tell us where it is so we can avoid it.
Yeah.
It seems a little off-put by you.
I rolled a really low stat, and the only one I could really put it in was charisma. Just warning you guys, I rolled a 4.
Wow.
I've managed to get that up to a 6, but it's still a 6.
You're going to be the most fun.
Yeah.
I'm a problem and I'm sorry.
Narrows his eyes.
Well, it would be useful if we could find somewhere we could, get some libation.
Right. Maybe you should head that
Never
way.
mind.
And he gestures down one set of streets.
That way the Soot Swallow is?
Yeah, sure. Absolutely.
Is it?
Is it, though?
Make an insight check.
Yeah.
Do I need
can
one?
You don't need
I was
one.
probably lying.
He's a little disconcerted by your group and is just pointing you. You notice actually in the direction of the winch that he pointed out before, the lift, basically.
You're just pointing the same way that you did a minute ago.
You said that wasn't the way to the Soot Swallow.
Look. Sooner you give us directions, the sooner we can leave your town, right?
Right. Points in a different direction. You want to go up there and keep going until you reach the prayer foundry, and then once you've done that, you want to keep going north past there, and might be easiest if you cut through Copperbottom Street. Yes, if you cut through Copperbottom Street and then up Tin Kettle Alley, you'll find it there. It's the one with the blackbird on it.
Soot Swallow, blackbird, clever.
Like a bird.
Yeah, like a bird.
I wondered.
I did wonder. Yes.
Right.
Wasn't my first guess, weirdly.
Have a good evening.
You too.
Thank you.
Give him a little awkward salute.
You head up the directions he gives you, and again there's this sort of gentle, quiet. There's actually quite a peaceful sort of feel to it, although your own intents purposes are a little more skulky. And as you make your way up
Skulk.
towards in the distance towards what he's indicated as this prayer foundry, you can see a distant building which looks a little bit somewhat like a temple at the far end of the street. You cross beyond the high workshop buildings of the what's the word I'm looking for? Of the assembly yards, and you can now see in the distance the round steel sort of main door and associated tiny little holes that serve as the barred windows of the Gearhole prison. And take a moment to study it.
Well,
They don't make it hard to find, do they?
no.
No, I would imagine it's it's supposed to be quite imposing.
I could send my friend to have a look in the windows.
Well, that could help, although...
Maybe not right now, but later.
Let's get a bit of info
Yeah.
before we go running
As you
into
make your
walls.
plan,
Poking about,
the
yes.
peace of the evening is shattered by the deafening crack of a massive explosion rocking the southeastern part of the city. At the base of the mountain, shards of rock spray the street hundreds of yards, about 100 yards from where you stand. Heavy smoke billows from a cavernous hole in the mountain wall, from, in fact, one of the very windows of the Gearhole prison. Even though you're a good way from it, all of you just feel yourselves shaken by the blast. There's a ringing that sounds in your ears, and as the smoke and the dust is still settling, you realise 6 cloaked figures appear in the street, running from the source of the explosion and charging straight towards you. How do you react?
I feel like this might have changed our priorities.
There could be people in trouble. We should go and help through the hole into the prison.
Yes.
Yeah, we should go see if everything's all right.
Definitely going to
It
do
would be the
that,
charitable
yes.
thing to do.
Also, let's move away
Most
from these
likely.
weird people that are running at us. Just saying.
Yeah, I want to step out the way.
Okay.
Yeah,
The three-
is there anywhere we can duck
yeah.
into?
Oh, there are
Yeah.
lots of little alleyways, and the 3 of you immediately duck into the alley, and you watch, fleeing out, there are 5 tiny figures, the size of gnomes, and what appears to be one much taller, 8 foot tall figure. As you kind of pull back and study, you see running up towards you, they're going to run past you shortly in the street, are a handful of silver-scaled kobolds. Small, tiny versions of Idris, with wearing cloaks pulled tight around them. And running behind them is an 8-foot-tall, muscled humanoid woman, grey-skinned with many black tattoos. She's got a tightly bound ponytail behind her. You can see a breastplate, which looks to have been very recently strapped on, and is very definitely a Goliath.
Oh.
Do you think maybe
is that-
that's the...
Yeah.
Seems likely. Might
us
wanna,
done it.
should we step back out and just check?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I send my bat friend to... How near are we? Can we hear them? Are they saying
They are
anything?
running towards you.
Never mind,
They
no.
will pass within 10 feet of you in but a few moments.
Right.
Should we
Yeah.
just shout, maybe, Scan?
Okay.
Sken?
Yeah, you call out
Sken.
to Sken. Give me a charisma check, please.
Oh,
Damien.
why did
Let's make you
Just
do all
straight
the
charisma?
talking.
Yeah, just straight charisma. I mean, unless you
Okay,
have proficiency in persuasion.
Not in persuasion, I don't.
Yeah.
So, that is a non-natural 1.
Oh,
Wow.
okay. As you shout out, there's a moment where you see the Goliath does react to her name being called out, and you hear her shout, "Oh shit, we've been made! This way!" And they immediately start darting away from you down another direction.
No, that. Did they genuinely think no one had seen them?
What do we do?
As this
They blew a wall up.
I mean, as this is happening, though, you also see in the distance behind them, you can hear the sounds of running, clanking footsteps coming from the direction they've just run, but also now running around the street that you arrived from. As you're kind of the place you've chosen to hide is like a 3-way fork. So they're running down one section of the Y. So they've come around and they could have turned left and gone up where you came from. Instead, they've turned right, and now you can hear the sounds of armoured figures approaching from the smoke cloud where they just left. And peering, you can also see 4 armoured members of the Crown's Guard. With their distinctive red enamelled breastplates charging down.
How far away?
I will say at this point the Crown's Guard are 90 feet away, but they're running. So next round they will be within 30 feet.
Okay.
And I think at this point I'm going to ask for initiative.
Yeah, that's fine.
All right.
Ooh.
Natural 20.
12.
22.
So that's a 21.
Okay, 22, 12. Okay, so yeah, Idris, you go first. If there's anything you want to do, so so there's. Sorry, actually no, it's a 21. Is your natural 20?
Didn't
Damien
Damien
got
go?
higher than you. I forget that your natural 20
Yeah.
doesn't automatically override with these.
Yeah, no, it's just 21.
So Damien, you go first. You can see. I'm going to say that as they're just running away, Sken and the kobolds are a mere 20 feet from you. The 3 of you are currently hidden in an alleyway at the point of the Y intersection. Sken and kobolds are running off, as I say, to the right. And 90 feet away, you can see Crown's Guard coming from the left. And you can hear 90 feet away Crown's Guard approaching from the smoke where the prisoners have just escaped from.
Oh. What on earth can I do that is useful?
You can choose to
stuck.
do nothing if you wish.
No, I don't. I feel like we need to get involved here.
Yeah.
Wouldn't let them get away.
I'm gonna try and match pace with Sken.
Okay, so you're gonna run after her.
Yeah,
cool.
and try and get her attention
Awesome.
again.
So you run. Okay, you're gonna try and run after Sken. I'll say that because the way movement works, you're able to run up to her. What do you want to try to do to get her attention or convey trust? So you run out into the street. The Crown's Guard have now seen. You see the Crown's Guard are approaching, so you can now clearly see them. But you run out into the street after this figure.
Oh, I don't think I'm bright enough to have really thought of anything or charismatic. I'm just going to try and get her attention again. Just going, hey. I would keep running because guards, but hey, friends.
Given you've already failed this check once, I'll let
it's
you
not
do
gonna
it
be good.
with disadvantage.
Oh, God.
Oh, no charisma.
That's
is
another
fun.
one. That is another non-natural
Oh my
one.
god, you are kidding
Wow.
me.
Okay,
I
Sken.
rolled 2 3s so far. They get to sit over there.
Sken will react to that on her turn. Okay. Yep, sure. At which point...
Can I hold an attack as well since I haven't used my action? Was that my
that
action?
kind
to
of was
talk?
your action to
Yeah,
try
okay,
and persuade her.
fair.
Idris.
Alright, Idris is going to, if he can, use the action to jump back on top of Gwyneth and ride off in the direction of the fleeing kobolds and the Goliath and try to get their attention that way. Can he make, I think a running horse is 40 feet?
You can certainly try to. However, there has just been an explosion. And Gwyneth is not happy about this. Please make an animal handling check as you try to do this.
Okay, that is a 9.
Gwyneth flees down completely the wrong path towards what you now see are 4 approaching Crown's Guard who dive out of the way like bowling pins.
That was quite useful.
That is really useful.
As your horse double moves, a full movement away.
Oh, Bahamut's bollocks.
You are now 120 feet from the scene.
Can I run after them in the...
No, you are on your horse. You got on your horse and then your horse bolted. You're essentially being carried away, just struggling to stay on and not be thrown by your mount.
Oh dear.
We're in trouble.
Yeah. So at this point, the kobolds have lower dexterity. So this is Tick.
I'm going to. So, have I got this right? There is a horse bolting backwards.
Yes.
The Crown's Guard
with Idris
on it. The Crown's Guard were coming towards a fork.
Yep.
Where the Goliath has gone down one end, and we're at the sort of intersection
You're at the
of the
intersection.
fork.
Yep.
Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up my coat.
Yep.
In my coat, there are a lot of watches, like so many. It's like sort of weird London salesman style, loads of watches.
Dodgy watch salesman.
Yeah. And also a lot of hourglasses and various star charts. Everything is
There's
sort
a
of
point,
various
you swear
time
there is a
measurements.
water clock in here.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff in here. I'm going to get out a quite big pocket watch.
Yeah.
I'm going to open it up, basically just like blow on it, and out of it comes a big load of cloud. I'm going to cast fog cloud. Like in the middle of the Crown's Guard, basically. It is, I will look how big it is. It is a 20-foot radius sphere.
What's the maximum distance?
120 feet.
Great,
so
yeah.
Cool.
Immediately, as these Crownsguard are running out of the way, a billowing bloom of white fog emerges, and you can just hear them coughing and spluttering and unsure what the fuck is going on.
Yeah, and then I'm going to run towards the Goliath,
Okay,
obviously,
so
and
you'll
try
run
and
towards
catch up with them.
You run after the Goliath as well, at which point the Goliath acts, seeing these other figures burst out, confused. She you can see that she has a copper ring on her finger. She twists it, and the same thing happens. Bursting out of the ring, a fog of cloud, a cloud of frog, I should say, bursts into being, and you find yourself sort of coughing and spluttering, and you just hear her running off, and the sounds of pattering as the kobolds begin to scatter as well. Okay, so skipping to the next round, Damien, you've just been running after this these kobolds and this Goliath who has panicked, created a fog cloud. You are now surrounded by fog.
Oh, God.
You heard footsteps running in every direction.
I was right next to her, though, and she's substantially bigger. Can I work out which way she went?
Yes, give me a perception check, please.
Oh, that's good. 22.
Okay. Yes. Although you can hear this, the footsteps running off, mostly down. You hear a lot of them running into the alleyways. You are able to hear the heavier footsteps just running straight down this street. So you can tell that she ran onwards past the fog cloud.
Okay, I will follow until I'm out of the
you
fog
run
cloud. So I'm assuming she was the middle of it.
Yeah, you run out of the fog cloud, and you can see her about, not far from you, actually, because you've got similar running speeds. Or at least, what action is it for her? Yes, she's got similar running speeds, but as you emerge from the cloud, you see there is Sken just ahead of you, as you manage to catch up with her. And 15 feet ahead of her is her.
Ooh.
But like a shadowy, echoing version of her.
Okay. How far away from her am I?
You are within 5 feet of her, I'll say.
Okay. 15 feet in front of me, I will manifest my echo and go, oh, right, that would have been smart from the start, never mind. And a shadowy version of myself appears between her and her echo.
There's a moment where she looks back and seems to realise what's happening.
Yeah.
Oh, shit, you're with the... at which point, Idris, cutting it back,
Idris is just the other way.
You bowled over a series of Crownsguard, and then fog exploded behind you.
Sorry.
What do you want to do? You are now you glance back and see another fog of clouds exploded beyond them, back towards where the Y section was.
I think all I can do is attempt to regain control of my
give
horse.
me an animal handling check, please.
Okay, I should be good at this. Okay, that's a little bit better. That's a 17.
Okay, yeah, you are able to get Gwyneth under control. Now that she's away from the explosions,
easy.
she's more willing to respond to you. What do you want to... you can ride her wherever you wish within the limits of her movement, so...
Alright, I'm going to try, as the layout of the city allows, loop back around, avoiding the bunch of soldiers I just bowled over like bowling pins.
So you want to try and use a different route. Okay, you're doing this in a city that you've not been to, with a difficult thing. I kind of want to give you...
That I can see over the rooftops of,
that
mainly.
You can see over the rooftops of. Okay, just give me a straight intelligence check.
In fact... Yeah, I have an idea as well. I will do the intelligence check first, though. That's an 11.
Okay, so the 11, you can actually see the Goliath over the rooftops. And then, weirdly, again, a little bit further away. And you can also just see the top of Damien. And again, a little bit further away. And as you're riding around to meet them, You also now see 2 more contingents of Crown's Guard, this time about a dozen on either side, both running charging towards that same position.
Okay, I take it that was my action.
Yeah, I'm going to say was kind of your action to regain control of your horse.
Fair enough,
and
yeah,
also
that's fine
to
then.
ride and everything. And get around to see.
Yeah, because the thing I was going to do is adjust the horse's density.
Oh, can you do that as a bonus action?
No, that is a full action.
Okay, you can do that in your next round if you wish.
That's such a weird sentence.
I will do that.
Just wanted to adjust the horse's density.
Okay. So that makes it. Kobolds. Sorry, we're in the wrong order. So Tick. You are now in a cloud of smoke, but you've just seen Damien run further down the street because you were close enough. I'd say you got behind them as they
I'm going
ran.
to follow Damien.
Okay, you run out of the cloud with Damien and then see the scene that's happening in front of you.
Which is loads of Crown's Guard are appearing.
You now see the Crown's Guard starting to appear in the distance as they're coming down this street as well.
Are there any nearby hiding places? I want to hide.
Yeah, there are lots of alleyways and little bits and bobs down by these tiny little tiny little gnome houses. It's very easy to find a hiding place. Make a stealth check.
How much of an action is it to do stuff with my familiar?
I think you can. 1 minute. I think you can just.
I basically want to find a hiding place and send my familiar to nudge Damien and tell them where it is.
Cool. That is something that they can just do. I'll say that doesn't really cost you much.
Cool. It's not like a big action.
You run. Give me a stealth check as the bat.
Oh my god, this character has stealth as a skill. Oh, it's a 1 though. You know what though? No. I'm going to get out a watch.
Yeah.
Another one of my many watches. And I'm just going to go, nah, and just turn it backwards. And there's a sort of microcosmic ripple in the air that comes out of it.
Yeah.
As though there's a sort of bubble of slowed time around her. And I'm going to re-roll that. Because I can... it's the conal shift ability if people are looking at the Wildemount book. That's an 18.
Okay, so you run around the corner, smack into one of the Crown's Guard, whip out of clock. Time
it goes
backwards. And you run the other way and duck behind a little cart just filled with lots of little with just like bits of coal for some reason. And a handful of apples. At the same time, your bat flutters off your shoulder, lands on Damien's. You hear the bat open its mouth, and you just hear the clinking of chains. And a little voice go, clink, 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 behind the cart full of coal, clink, clink. It's right in your ear.
Right.
Yes, that bat can speak. That is your go. At the same time as this happens, Sken also notices the band of Crown's Guard appearing. Puts her hand on the ring again, looks to you and goes, "Oh shit!" Looks to you, Damien. Right, we're heading to the hideout. We'll meet you there. Twists the ring. Again, fog clouds. Clearly assuming that you are part of this other rescue attempt.
Hideout.
And you hear them run off.
Right, the hideout.
Everybody's loving the fog cloud.
They've got multiple uses per day.
Probably just mistake it for fireworks at this point.
So at that point, you have Damien and so you're hidden Tick, but Damien, you hear the sound of the clanking Crown's Guard appearing from both ends of the street now. The larger group of about 24 that are now rushing down this street, shouting, confused, trying to figure out what's happened with this next fog cloud which has appeared right next to the previous fog cloud. I'll say that as that happens, you can also now hear the guards that were arriving coming from the side of the explosion are now running up behind as well. So, what would you like to do? You did see briefly the bat nod in the direction of the hiding spot where Tick is before everything got clouded up.
Is it big enough that I could hide?
Yeah, it's a pretty big car.
I'm pretty big.
It's a pretty big car.
Okay. I will attempt to hide.
Yeah, you have advantage because there's a fog cloud everywhere.
Okay. Okay, that is very good. That's
okay.
24.
You rush behind the same cart.
Use dice rolling
Kneeling down
well.
next to Tick. You can know you're near Tick because even though you can barely see them, you can hear all the ticking sounds. Little bat jumps off your shoulder.
Surely that's a problem when you hide.
Tick.
In my head,
quiet.
you have to be like
Aren't you a-
right by her to
Yeah.
hear it. It's quiet.
But if you're right next door.
Aren't you a thief?
I am a thief.
So, as that's happening, Idris, you see the Crown's Guard charging down the street as you've been riding your horse, and just another fog cloud. And Idris doesn't cost you an action, but give me a perception check.
Okay. That is a 5.
There's a brief moment where you see the Goliath run out into one just out of the fog cloud and then vanish. For a moment, they seem to be shadowy, and then they're gone.
Oh, there was something I meant to
Yes,
do on my
go
turn
on.
as well, other than hiding. Sorry, can I send my shadow, my echo, in the opposite direction so it gets too far and
Yes, you
disappears?
do. At the end of your turn, your own.
'Cause otherwise
you also
that's a problem.
You also see Damien run out of a different bit of the fog cloud and then just vanish out of existence.
No. That's bugger.
With that, though, the Sken makes her escape. The kobolds vanish. Idris, what do you want to do? You're currently away from where all of the Crown's Guard are because you've had to take the circuitous route on your horse. You've no idea where the other two are, though.
Bloody hell. Alright, can I... if I've seen where both Damien and the Goliath have disappeared, is there a place nearby where I currently am that I can hide the horse and approach on
I'll
foot?
say that there is. Yeah, you are relatively easily able to do that. So you quickly tie Gwyneth up to a drain pipe and start to approach the area where the fog clouds are, because they persist for like a minute. At the same time, Damien and Tick, what do you want to do? Because you're just,
Oh my God.
like, you've managed to get a point of hiding, and you can now hear the
Are
shouting.
we out of initiative now?
You're out of initiative. You can hear the shouting of confused Crown's Guard trying to figure out what's going on in the fog. They have not found you.
I'm just going to turn to Damien. Do we still have a job? Or is it kind of done now?
I think we still need to find the Goliath.
You are supposed to bring her to a
The
specific
job is to-
place. Yeah.
The job's a fetch job, not just a
Right,
breaking
it's not
out
just the
job.
breaking, it's the fetching. Okay, well, we've got to do
Yeah.
fetching then.
I don't think anyone gets paid till that's done.
I'd like to be paid. Don't suppose you know where the hideout is, do you? Heard something about a hideout.
Yeah,
Is that your hideout or somebody else's
No.
hideout?
I am lacking hideouts.
There's the clanking
hell.
of Crown's Guard nearby as they're searching through. It's like, you want to go, oh, I've got them! Darren, that's me!
You know, we
What are you doing skulking around? What are you doing skulking around?
we're definitely skulking. We should leave.
Yeah, let's skulk.
Yeah, let's
You
go.
skulk out.
Oh,
out the
we
back.
should-
So where the
should
hell is
find the-
Idris?
You skulk out the back of the alleyway just as Idris turns around the corner.
Oh, like sliding doors moment.
And you bump right into each other.
Oh, there you are.
Where were you?
Well, I was securing Gwyneth anyway.
Right.
Did provide a distraction, though. There's
Really?
The three
they're
fog
scattered
clouds
like
were kind of
bowling
enough,
pins.
to be honest.
Should we maybe get away from here? They're still looking for
I
us.
think.
Yeah, pub.
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 Pub. Yes,
Yeah.
very good idea.
Swallow, they might know about hideouts.
You
Yes.
I mean, you can't do any harm.
hurriedly head out up to following the directions until past the prayer forge, which is actually passing the prayer foundry, which is actually a temple. Although weirdly, it's a temple from which you can hear the sound of clinking.
Would I be able to tell what
Oh,
deity?
it's
if
really
any,
obvious.
If
There's a
temple too?
giant hammer at the front. This is a working temple of Moradin, the Allhammer. Who
Right.
and it's when I say working temple, I mean literally. It is also a functioning smithy.
Ah, that's cool. I feel like the bat gets quite excited at the clinking. Sort of starts like twitching about and like, clinking away along with it.
Yeah, it's weird. The bat is excited, but also there's a strange discomfort that seems to come over the bat, and part of its skin ripples like rippling water.
You alright?
Clink, 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 forger of chains. Clink, clink.
Do you want to have a look? Do we need to have a look?
No.
Is this where we're supposed to be?
Not the place, not the time. Clink, clink.
Alright. Not near here.
Not here, not now. Clink, clink, clink.
It's never here and it's never now. Ugh.
Be in the place, be at the time. Clink.
When?
When the angel needs you. Clink, clink. Break her chains. The chains will be broken.
But not these
Clink,
chains.
Clink. The forger of the chains, but not the chain. Clink.
No. Oh no.
Do either of us hear any of that?
I don't think we were quiet.
You're not quiet, yeah. You
just
hear
talking
the
to each
distant
other.
murmuring.
Right. Well, there's plenty of forging going on around here.
Damien doesn't care. Robbie is concerned. Oh no.
Yes. You make your way past, following up Copper Kettle, or was it Copper Bottom and
Copper
Tin Kettle?
Bottom, you said,
actually
yeah.
walk up Copper Kettle Street and
Yes.
get lost until you eventually find Tin Kettle Street round the back of Copper Bottom
Who
Street.
named these?
And then you make
What is
your
it
way
with kettles?
past the various
And
gnome
metals.
housing to a rare 2-story building. Which actually does indeed have the image of a soot-covered swallow depicted on the front.
Look, we only come halfway up this building.
Yeah, it's tall.
Step inside, and you find a rather miserable, vaguely despondent sort of establishment. The stepping inside, the gnomes here, their moustaches, their beards just droop. The clothes hang off them.
That's really sad.
There's a number of they're in slightly less joyful clothing. They're nursing dark drinks, thinking dark thoughts. There are a couple there's one mournfully trying to repair a broken clockwork doll.
Walking and go, I like it here.
And you can see there's one little gnome, little black beard and slicked back black hair with a big old bronze cog for an eye patch. Gives you a gimlet-eyed stare as you approach. So, what'll you be having?
Oh, I thought you'd never ask. Well,
We're
do you have in the
working.
means of
We're
spirits?
I suppose
working.
you got an ale, have you?
We've got ale. We've got fuse.
What is fuse?
It's strong spirit mixed with gunpowder.
Yeah, fuck it, go on then.
It's silver each for some fuse.
I'll have a fuse.
Okay.
No open flames. Don't worry, I'm not that sort.
You bestow...
Also, a little something, a little herbal something as well.
Exciting. You bestow many gifts upon us.
He pours you out 3 dark drinks. You've only ordered 2. Damien, did you order one? Yeah, he passes you
working.
3. Says, and you could do me a favour and just bring this gift to my friend over in the corner.
Of course.
And points to a slightly shabby-looking gnome with fuzzy black hair. Off in one corner, a bit of a fuzzy black moustache. Who seems to be who has what you suppose you can tell is a carpet bag just filled with various odds and ends, and is ferreting around in it. As you approach, he looks up. I ain't done nothing.
No, it's all right, mate. I've heard this is just one of many gifts your friend has sent over to you from the bar.
Ah, well that's different. Takes it, downs it. Right.
Can we join you?
Yeah. Name's name round here anyway. He's Udolf.
Ah, Tick.
Tick, tick, tick. Right, got it.
This is Damien, this is Idris.
Yeah.
We're on business.
Hello.
I see. Well, of course, I'm always willing to help a member of the family. The right price. What is it you need?
Well, we're breaking out. What's her name again? Sken Zibris. So we were sent on a prison break, is the thing, but sort of already
Prison
got broke already.
Sparks and smoke. Was that what that was about?
Yeah, prison break, big hole in the wall. But apparently it's not just breaking, it's
broken
fetching
now.
what we're doing. So we need to fetch her. There's a hideout she's going to. We don't know where it is.
Hideout.
With a load of kobolds.
Kobolds? That's some unusual stuff.
Little silver ones,
Yeah.
weren't they?
Yes.
Thinks for a moment. I mean, only hideout I know is my bolt hole, and they aren't with me. So kobolds, though. Little.
Are they common in these parts? I can't imagine.
Nah. Kobolds usually more. Well, you more sort of you're getting like Joras, that sort of thing, isn't it? Or like where your folk from?
Wouldn't know.
I'm from Zadash.
Gesturing towards Idris. Dunno. Sounds like they're out of time. Mind you, though, there was there was a kobold band about 4 or 5 months ago. They strung up about half of them for banditry. They didn't catch the other half though. So they must have maybe they've got some work elsewhere.
Turned to a different profession, maybe.
How many did they string up?
I don't know, like baker's dozen. Probably about that many still left. Not the shiniest gems in the seam, if you know what I mean, though. Usually working for someone else. Have you ever thought that? Does sound familiar. Yeah, I might know a thing about that. There was something. Something came to our attention recently. Of course, if you were looking for my assistance, I might want to ask a small favour if you've some gifts yourself.
Of course.
Right.
Nothing's free, is it?
Nah. I've got a bit of debt collection I need doing.
Oh, yeah?
So there's this girl. I think for a moment. Yeah. Nima Cinerid. She's a member who works at the Firemark facility. Well, I've been helping her get hold of a few bits and bobs that she needs, stuff that maybe the tithe collectors don't need to know about, and she's come out of it owing me about 50 gold.
Wow.
Don't worry, it's a long-standing arrangement, and usually she pays up pretty reliably, but I haven't seen neither head nor tail of her for weeks.
And you want us to go and break her legs or something?
Nah. Put the frighteners into her. That's all. She'll pay up. but she's.
Oh, well, I think we can do
But
that.
yeah, or if you have to, just break into her house and get the money. I don't really care how, as long as I get it.
That I can do.
But
Where does she live?
I can think for a moment. To be truth, I don't. She usually would come to me, but I can tell you where she works. She works in the iron lot, in the Firemark foundry. Give you directions there. Mm-hmm. Maybe if they've seen her, well, you can, show up, put frighteners into her, make sure that she pays me. You do that, and I will do a little bit of sniffing around, see what I can find.
All right.
That seems reasonable.
Everyone all right with that?
Yeah, anything we should know about this person?
Nah, she's just works. She's just a machinist. Pretty clever one, gotta be said. Actually, I say pretty clever. Probably one of the top suppliers for blasting powder for the Firemark facility. That's why she's been able to afford my product.
Are the same powder that's in these drinks?
And that was in the bomb what blew up the prison by any chance?
I mean, yeah, it's in all bombs.
No, but I mean,
blasting
would they
powder.
have got it from her? Would she know anything?
Thinks for a moment. Leans close to you, Tick.
Lean in.
Right, don't let this get around, but between you and me, there's been a bunch of out of the family thefts happening in the last few months.
Ah, shit.
Small stuff like tools, bits of metal, little bits and bobs here and there. None of it's been on a big scale. So no proper heists or anything. I'd have heard about it if that was the case, and I'd be demanding our cut. But I've been talking to some of the second story professionals who come in. Not that there's many second stories here, and none of them have been behind it. I was wondering if maybe those, now that you mentioned those kobolds, maybe they might have been up to some of that. But yeah, it's all been overnight stuff, mostly from workshops, machinists, that sort of thing.
Right.
Not a big quantity of blasting powder though. More like maybe some of the raw materials you'd need for it. I don't know. I'm not a powder maker.
Me neither.
For that, you'd have to ask the Firemarks. Talk to was it? Yeah, the blast gaffer, Sleece. That's his name.
Sleece.
At the Firemark facility. He'd know that sort of thing.
Sleece. Right.
He's actually name is Boss. So he might tell you where she is, so she can give me my fucking money.
Right. Well, you have a look around. We'll have a look around. I guess we'll see you later.
Right. You knock back your drinks.
Yeah, go on.
Yeah,
I
it is strong alcohol mixed with something which about a few minutes later just gives you a jolt of energy. It's basically a speedball.
Okay.
So, are you familiar with the poor man's speedball of like a vodka with Red Bull? Or your
Oh, that's not what we
was
call
thinking
it in my
Jaeger
bit of the
bomb.
north.
Ah,
Yeah.
yes.
We just call it a vodka Red Bull, but
Yes.
yeah.
No, that's the poor man's speedball. The real speedball is strong alcohol and usually a little white powder. This is what this feels like.
Okay.
Yeah, you are just
Cool.
getting a jolt of energy afterwards.
Whoa, hello.
You've heard that the morning after a few drinks of Fuse, you usually need some pretty strong coffee.
All right. Well, I'll start running there then, shall I? Yes.
Yeah, I got a bit of a jolt on me. It's good. I like it.
You swear that the gentle ticking sounds around Tick have picked up in intensity.
Yeah. Another thing about her, she has a habit of kind of tapping along with them. That's sped up a bit since the shot.
All right.
You are not a stealthy thief.
No, I suck. I've got stealth as a skill, hilariously.
All right. You make your way to the Firemark facility on the other side of town. It's quite a large brown and red brick building. Very thick walls. Very thin roof. Painted iron black over a massive compound.
Amazing.
There is a strong scent of brimstone and just a little bit of a tint of the taste of what you had in the fuse, actually, which you reckon must be the smell of blast and taste of blasting powder on the air. As you approach, there is a gnome here who kind of is wearing a little tiny gnome breastplate and holding... actually, it's rare that you see these outside of the army. A long stick, with a long metal stick with a hollowed end, and a wooden butt, what you recognise as a musket. It doesn't point it at you, but looks up and goes, "Oi! This is a restricted site.
Restricted by who?
By the gaffer,
Who's that?
the blast gaffer, Mr. Firemark."
Ah, well, we were hoping to actually speak with them, if that's at all possible.
Thinks for a moment, frowns, scratches his head with one hand. We can come back in the day, can't you?
It's kind of urgent.
This is a matter of some urgency, yes.
He looks side to side. How urgent are we talking?
Well, there's a big hole in the prison and we were wondering if someone had nicked some of his powder to do it.
What? Oh,
We'd hate for it to be connected back
Yeah.
to him.
roll an intimidation check.
Serious thing.
Oh,
Oh, charisma. No.
why is everything charisma?
Being as we're assisting
You
them...
can roll this with advantage, yes.
Okay, that is where am I? -2. 13.
Right, this is above my pay grade.
Yeah.
Gaffer! Gaffer, we got some people who need to speak to you! Quickly waves you in. And you can see...
What was the name of the other person? we're looking for?
Sleece and Nima.
Yeah.
Nima
Yeah.
Sinridge, I think it was. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, lovely.
So you look round, you see coming out of most of the facility is actually still and quiet, but busy cleaning up and finishing, there is an elderly gnome with a tweed flat cap, because he is a gaffer, and a long sort of long blue coat. He looks out of... He's got one of those little offices, you know those like porter cabin offices that overlooks a factory floor?
Yes.
Yeah, he looks out of one of those. What's all this then?
Are you the gaffer?
Course I'm the gaffer. Who are you then?
Explains the hat.
He climbs down this little ladder. Takes some time. Gets down to the factory floor. All right. What you tall folks want? It's my facility. Can't be having just randomers walking around.
Well, look.
And a fine facility it is, but we wanted to have a word with you because, well, I'm sure you've already heard that there's been a bit of a to-do up at the prison.
He folds his arms. Aye, I reckon half the city heard it. It's why they've shut down the winch and I
Yes.
can't get up to have a drink tonight.
Oh.
Oh, that
He
is
looks over
a
in the-
terrible
What a
shame.
shame.
Looks over at the distant lift, which would lead up to the upper part of the city,
Aw.
which you can now see is not moving at all. You can faintly see the presence of a lot of Crown's Guard.
And a lot of grumpy gnomes, I'd imagine.
Yeah.
Is anyone stuck halfway up?
No. They've just stopped it. You've been used further.
No
Oh,
screaming
shame.
gnomes stuck in the lift.
How high up does it go?
Like the Idleworks shelf is like close to 300 feet above the industrial portion of the city, so it's quite a way up.
Okay,
Actually,
it's quite
yeah.
a way. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, anyone
We're looking
who
for-
didn't start drinking already and was staying late at work is basically stuck at work overnight.
Ah, sad. We're looking for Nima. I wouldn't want to say it's connected,
But
but
it might be.
the sooner we find her, the less it's connected to you.
I haven't
basically the
seen
size of it.
Nina since she took ill 3 weeks ago.
Right.
And her address. If we wanted to find her,
Narrows his eyes. Sorry, who the fuck are you?
You really want to know? Less you know, the better, mate.
Make an intimidation check.
I don't know why I'm doing this. His character doesn't have good charisma. Like, I don't know what I'm doing. 8.
have you seen how many charisma
Yeah.
rolls I have rolled this evening?
A whole 8.
Do any of us have
Sorry.
charisma?
No.
Any
I
of
have
us.
a plus in it, but it's not my best
I've got
stat,
plus
by the
1.
way.
It's nothing.
Sleece
So have I.
raises his fingers and he does the impressive trick that I can't do, where he puts 2 fingers in his mouth and whistles through them. And you see all around the facility various, about a dozen of these gnomes with these firearms poke their heads over various walkways. Yeah, I'm not going to have some thugs walk into my facility and try to threaten me. You can fuck off. I don't know what business you have with Nima, but it can't be good.
It's, if you must know, it is a business of a religious nature, and he sort of flashes his holy symbol, for such he has. It just as a matter of clarification, though, it's a symbol of Bahamut,
It's a
not
platinum
anything
dragon.
else.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Right. You what?
It is an issue of a religious nature. Now, I, as a representative, I mean, I'm sure she's been rather circumspect about her particular beliefs, but I was
Roll.
sent as a representative of the church. I'm absolutely rolling
roll
deception.
I feel like we're both just looking at
Yeah.
you with crossed arms. Like,
Yeah, it's like, I'm sitting here with crossed arms going, what on earth could I do to help here?
Yeah.
Absolutely nothing.
Okay, deception.
I have one other thing I can pull, but it might be really nuts, so I hope this works.
It's an 18.
Yeah, likewise.
You just hear him mutter, "Oh fuck, there with the censors." Hey, no. I've known Nima for years. She's perfectly orthodox. There's no heresy going on here.
We could have
It's
a look
enta-
into you, or we could look at her. Those are the two
Look, her
options.
house is on the northern side of the city. I'll just give you, scribbles down an address and passes it to you. You can go and speak with her yourself.
Thank you.
Now, I'm
Directions.
absolutely sure that is the case. But
Okay, you want to go up
as
that
I'm sure
street
you
and
can
then left and then
appreciate-
right and then right and then left and then right.
Lovely.
All right, then.
I'm leaving.
That wasn't that hard, was it? See you later.
Best
The Platinum One be with you.
Best of luck actually getting to her. I've sent enough people to see if she's willing to start work, but she's not going to not let anyone in.
We're very persuasive.
Well, maybe we might have a little bit better luck then.
Yes, all right. Have a lovely night. We're all and hail Baphomet. Yes. Okay. Goodbye.
He leaves.
Ushers
A
you.
couple of streets away, he goes, I can't bloody well believe that worked.
Yeah, well,
Which one's Baphomet?
Definitely said Baphomet instead of Baphomet. Wow. Okay, I've accidentally made him a demon cultist.
oh wow, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Up to you whether you can.
Yeah, isn't that's the Minotaur thing, isn't
Yeah,
it?
that's the demon with the. That's
Yeah.
the demon lord of
The connection to the
Minotaurs.
yeah. Whoops.
Bahamut, Baphomet. Don't want to say those.
They're very
close.
close.
Okay, you head up towards the.
I can't believe
We're
that
not
worked. That's
Can't
ridiculous.
either.
Travel up to the northern end of the iron lot, where you approach. You find a rather humble abode, single story, quite short as expected. That was Gaffer Sleece gave you directions to. There are green painted wooden walls, and you can see that they're actually kind of streaked with dirt, which has been washed down by the rain. There is a sign hanging on the front door which reads, "Sickness within. Do not disturb." The curtains at the windows are all closed.
Is the door locked?
Do you try it?
Yeah.
Walk up to the front.
Unless anyone stops me. But
If you go, maybe we should check there isn't a back way before
Yes,
we
or
go bursting
just
in.
have a look in one of the windows. I mean, does anyone else get the feeling like they're in a model village here?
a little bit.
Have you seen how tall I am?
Kind of like slowly
My
look at you.
point.
You're all very short.
You are quite big.
I'm only about 4 inches shorter than you are.
There is-
We've got more than a foot
Sure
going on
thing,
here.
mate.
Coming down the side, you can see there is a side door as well, which is also closed. All of the windows have curtains drawn.
Do you want to try knocking or do you want to just break in?
If I was worried about people coming a knocking that I didn't want coming a knocking, and I was good with, like, machinery, I'd put traps.
Oh, yes, well...
Yeah. You have a point.
Let's have a little look, and let's try knocking.
Okay, you
Turns out we're very persuasive. Who
you
knew?
give
Ah,
Going to take a moment to cast Mage Armor.
oh my
do
god,
so.
thank you. I'm going to do that too. Jesus, right, yes.
Yes, all my spells. I can definitely join in with this.
so
2 wizards and a fighter. It's a weird party.
you not
We have no healing.
Don't we?
yeah.
Are you sure about that? We've got I've got
Ooh.
1 a day because I'm an Asimar. That's literally it.
Yes.
1.
You can touch people and make them feel
Yeah.
better.
Yep. So you
Hey,
you give a knock on the door.
I've got a second.
Nothing.
We're checking for traps first before we
Oh.
get
An
knocked.
investigation check. There's still no response.
Can I help?
Yes.
I've got
Maybe
investigation
someone
as a
else should
skill.
help
Yeah.
this.
So-
So maybe you should do
Yeah,
that.
I think then
yeah,
we should assist
yeah.
you.
Okay.
that sounds more sensible.
Let me have a look. I'm good at doors. That had advantage, gang. 21.
Okay.
The other one would have been a 6.
So you study the door and kind of glance through and the windows as well. Studying the door, there doesn't seem to be any traps on it. You can tell through the dim light that the door is latched from the inside, as well as locked. But you do notice... is this the front or the side door, by the way?
Side, I think.
I think we want
Yeah,
to
we
look
went
at
right.
Mate, I think
So
you
look at the
look.
front
I think you
door, fine.
check both
You
for
check the-
traps and see
you
which
go around
looks.
and you check the side door
Yeah.
as well. You do see some signs of splintering on the wood on the side door, as just around the area where around where the lock would be.
As though somebody's tried to pick it before.
More like someone went at it with a crowbar.
Ah, okay. It's like someone's been here.
Yes.
Oh, good then. We can just go in. I'm going to try and open that
Okay,
door.
that door. Also, it comes. You hit like it's not a latch. You hit a chain.
Can I do anything about either of these doors with thieves' tools?
Oh yeah, you can.
Which one's easier to pick?
You reckon the chain would probably be easier than the lock because you just need to essentially get like a slim tool and it.
All right, give me a minute.
Okay, give me a thieves tools check.
That's Dex plus proficiency, isn't it?
Yep.
Cool.
Yep.
14.
Okay. There is a sort of. You continue. It takes you about a minute because of as one of your picks actually
I'm
gets.
going to watch the front
caught.
door while this is happening in case there's any movement.
Give me a perception check.
Oh no. Okay, perception I do actually have 16.
Okay. You don't see anything coming out the front door, but as Tick is busy struggling with this little chain,
I feel like every time the chain clinks, the back clinks.
yeah, it's like clink, 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 clink. Sometimes the back clinks, sometimes it just says the word clink. As as this is happening, you hear the sounds of little scurrying footsteps inside the building. Multiple
Someone's
footsteps. You would say.
Lots of people
More
home.
than one?
Can't tell exactly how many.
Lots would imply more
Yeah, that
than
was
one,
a stupid
yes.
question. I'm sorry, I'm distracted by
Tiny
this
feet.
bloody lock.
You eventually feel the chain clink come off, and the door is now slightly ajar.
Where it's open.
Right. I'll go in first.
Right.
Okay.
I feel like I'm less likely to die based on whatever trap we're about to set.
Yeah, you look more solid
Damien,
than us.
you step inside, and as you push open the door, you see 4 shadowy figures immediately raise tiny crossbows, but because you'd already heard the sounds, you are not surprised. So everyone roll initiative, please.
Okay.
Oh, that's
15.
bad.
15 for me too.
7.
Okay, so 15, and 7 was that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Idris Tick, can you just give me your dexterity modifiers, please?
+2.
+1.
So me
go
first.
Tick, Idris, and then Adrian. Sorry,
dear, I
Adrian?
don't know
What?
what-
Damien. I don't know where Adrian came from. Anyway, so as you step into the building, 4 silver-scaled kobolds fire on you, just all at once. They are hiding around
Right.
you can see there was a chair. As you push open, there was a chair that was briefly used to try and prop up this side door before it got forced. It's splintered on the ground, and they've stood up from hiding positions around a little table where they fire on Damien. So that is... Okay, 13.
Nope.
Okay, 21, yes.
Yes.
12 doesn't. 3 of them thud into the little door, but one of the hand crossbow bolts does manage to glance off your armour, and you feel the sort of thud impact your chest a little bit, giving you a slight bruise. You take 5 points of damage. By the way, you are having to crouch over a little bit in this house. It is not built for someone your height. Tick, you are the first to act. The pair of you are out. Damien has just stepped through. I'll say that you can move past Damien, they're not blocking the way. But the pair
I'm
of you
trying
are
to
just
look up a
behind.
spell, but it's buggered. Can anyone get me the stats for Crown of Madness?
Yes.
By any chance?
Here we go. Crown of Madness is... I think that's in the core player's handbook.
It is, yeah. It's
Yeah,
a
it
cool
is.
spell.
Here we go.
Got it.
Because I know the sentiment of
one-
it, but I need to check the actual...
Yeah.
One humanoid of your choice that you can see within range. Wisdom save.
Cool. Thank you. And there you go.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was literally
I
passing
just
you the
need
book.
it in front of me. This is not on the page.
It was literally on the bottom left. Right,
Okay,
bottom
cool.
right.
Sorry.
Right at the end.
Is there anything that looks more dangerous than the others, or
They
like a
all
leader?
look like little kobolds. They seem to have a fairly flat leadership structure.
They're
They're
Yeah.
anarcho-syndicalist kobolds.
What was that?
They're anarcho-syndicalist kobolds.
I don't know what that means.
They have a unified leadership structure, just taking orders from whoever gives the best plan at the time.
Okay, fair
Yes,
enough.
yes.
I'm going to go for a random kobold.
Yes.
And I'm going to cast Crown of Madness.
Okay, so it's wisdom save.
Yes, wisdom
That was
save.
a natural 20. Does it have any effect if they save?
No, it doesn't. But I could make it not save, which is
Oh.
tempting.
If you wish to use that, yes, you can.
Yeah, I feel like I twist a chain of a pocket watch around my wrist to cast the spell. The chain appears around its head, it shakes it off, and then I twist the pocket watch back. The whole thing goes back in time, and I'm going to make it re-roll.
Okay. It does so, and it rolls a 12.
Hey.
So this time...
Oh, that is my save. Does it save? Does that count?
If that is your save, then it
Yeah,
saves.
my spell save is 12.
13 minus 1.
Well, this was a useless round for me.
Nearly works, and you try and retake, but just something about it shudders and shakes its head. You don't speak Draconic.
No.
I speak Draconic.
But Idris, you hear its call.
What the fuck was that?
Okay, so that is now... Tick, do you want to move at all? You're kind of just peering in from behind Damien at this
I think
point.
I'm going to take cover, like, round the door frame, if that's all right.
That's fine. So you've got cover.
So I can peep out, but... yeah, I'll take cover.
Awesome. So, Idris.
Okay, Idris is going to pull out his athame, and you see that the space around it seems to sort of warp and distort as he casts Magnify Gravity. Are all of the kobolds within a 10-foot radius sphere of each other?
They are.
Right, then they all need to make a Constitution save. DC 13.
Okay.
On a failed save, their speed is halved and they take 2d8 force damage.
Okay. Anything on a successful save?
On a successful save, their speed is not halved and they take half that
Okay.
damage.
2 of the kobolds save, 2 do not. So roll damage.
Alright. Okay, that's 7 force damage.
Okay. As you what is it you do with the athame again?
He is using it. Well, it is his arcane focus. The space around it sort of warps, and he points it at a spot in the midst of these kobolds, and everything not either being worn, carried, or wielded starts to creak as the weight of it immediately starts to go up.
Okay.
You see, like the table, the wood on the table start to creak. You see the stones of the floor start to crack.
The actual table, which was already a bit bashed up by some previous event, the legs just crack and the whole thing just goes to the ground. There was a tea set which the kobolds had set up. They were having tea. The cups just shatter. The teapot shatters, and so do 2 of the kobolds, which immediately just become jam as they splinter to the ground in little wet, gory puddles.
Right then, he says in Draconic. That's no way. That's no way to treat a guest.
Yeah. Okay. So that makes Idris. Do you want to do anything else?
I guess if this is allowed, I could try to intimidate them.
I think that's kind of its an action, but they are all clearly intimidated, though. Damien, there are 2 surviving kobolds.
Is it a bit late to point out we might be on the same side as these? Never mind.
Maybe pre-jam would have been better, yeah.
2 of them
They shot at us.
2 of them are simply kind of very unnerved and bleeding from their eye sockets as their weight was momentarily increased.
So nasty.
Yeah.
So has gravity gone back to normal?
For them,
Yes.
yeah, it's because they managed to resist
Well,
it.
it's like at the start of my next turn. Yeah. If you wanted
can
to
I
move
walk
anything
in this
within
area?
that,
You can walk in the
you
area,
need to make a
I think.
strength save.
Oh, you need to make a save.
Oh,
yes,
is
you
it,
can.
it's still going.
So it's still going.
Well, it's not going to affect you so much, but any like object in there, if you wanted to move it, you would need to make a strength save in order to do so.
Cool.
But if I walk in, I'm okay.
Yeah, you should be. I think that looking at the
I'm happy to
wording
take
of
that
the
ruling.
spell,
Let's move
you'd
on.
be
Okay,
fine.
Damien.
cool. Let's carry on. Okay, I will walk up to one of them and manifest my shadow next to the other one, and just hold up my longsword and say, "We're looking for some help. Are you going to be helpful?" And I will hold an attack. If they attack, we're both attacking.
I mean, yeah, under the circumstances, make an intimidation check with advantage.
All the charisma rolls for you.
No. I know. That's a 2.
Oh,
No, 3.
Mate,
Wow.
with advantage.
Yeah. On their turn, the
Yeah.
pair of them immediately try to flee, and you can make your
Okay, I'm
attacks.
attacking.
Yep.
Yeah. So how does it work? There's a thing I do whenever so I'm unleashing my knight, so I get an extra melee. So it's just another attack. It's not the same attack. It's a separate attack. So we're swinging with our swords.
Okay, go for it.
One is not going to hit. One of them's an 8. The other's a 17.
Yeah, so both of them hit.
An 8 hits. Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh no.
That is 4 and 10 damage.
Okay. Yeah. For once, I can say this. How would you like to do this?
Hey.
Hey.
Hey, in perfect sync with each other. Like mirrored almost.
Okay.
Just swinging.
So you just swing down.
One of them, like, Damien's left-handed.
Yeah.
The Echo is right-handed,
Oh.
and they
that's
swing
cool.
them together,
And you just-
they like bring the blades together.
You both just execute these two kobolds, slicing through their
Oh, well.
throats. They hit the ground. You kind of take a moment looking around, and then tick. You hear a ticking sound coming from the bodies. All 4 of the bodies.
Do bombs tick? Like, do bombs tick in this scenario?
Yes,
I
yes,
genuinely
they
don't
do.
know.
Yes, they do.
I don't know what era we're in and
We're
how
in
that
the era
works.
where bombs tick.
Get down!
Okay, do you?
What with the
Yeah, I'll
jam?
do that.
Even the jam is ticking.
I will get out.
Yeah,
I will get
can
out
we
the room.
throw
All of
ourselves
you
away?
Dive out of the way as cool folks walking, running, diving away from explosion style.
Oh, yeah.
The 4 kobolds all just and paint the room red.
I did not see that coming. Can't pretend otherwise.
Well, it looks like we're going to be cleaning a lot more of this place than we originally anticipated.
I'm not cleaning it up.
Is this normal? Is this normal for this area?
I've never known kobolds to explode before.
I've never known an area where this
Okay.
was normal, to be honest.
Okay. It's always worth checking. Don't want to judge someone else's.
Matt, you never know.
culture.
You never know. That's fair.
That's fair enough. but
Exploding might be normal
explosive- I think exploding
Right.
is rather normal here. Have you not seen what's been going on?
Yeah, but like
I mean,
fireworks,
maybe it's-
mate. Different thing.
Yeah, maybe it's like it's a death ritual thing. People die and they explode.
I mean,
wanna...
to be fair, if there's a city to get away with an explosion in, it's this one, because they're having bloody fireworks all the time. So
Absolutely.
maybe less watch on the way.
Should we
We need to find
have a look
Nima.
for?
Yeah.
Yeah, see if there's any signs.
Can we walk
Anything-
through the jam and see if we can go
anything not-
find Nima?
You're all doing it, so can someone give me lead the investigation check? With
I
advantage, please?
have it as a skill. Anyone
Yeah.
have more than a +4?
No.
Cool.
I have
I'll do
+3,
it.
but yeah.
One of them's cocked. That is a 22.
Okay.
Hooray.
So first
Nice.
of all, you find 2 pouches of what you recognise as blasting powder hidden in the back of a cupboard. This is
have
a
them.
volatile alchemical powder. It comes with a little wick fuse. When ignited by an open flame or fuse, the powder explodes. Each creature within 5 feet must make a DC 13 Dex saving throw or take 3d6 bludgeoning, half on a successful save. If you bind multiple pouches of blasting powder together, they can explode at the same time, increasing the blast radius by 5 feet per pouch and the
Fit.
damage by 1d6. Maximum of 10d6, maximum radius of 20 feet.
Amazing.
You find
All right then.
a few other elements as well. You can see that there are signs of a fight prior to this one, and there's signs of the chair that was broken by the door being used to prop it up. Someone forcing their way in, as well. You find that there are a few heavy. So actually, you can also see that someone has previously broken into a chest here. which is a shattered lock. There are a few heavy coats, sets of work boots sized for a gnome, all of which are stained with red dirt. Peering through the remains of the kobolds, you can find very little except for a few shattered and bent pieces of clockwork. Mm-hmm. But you also find, amidst a broken work table, some scraps of parchment, one of which is a small drawing of a waterfall behind which someone has depicted a secret cave. And they have literally written the word secret cave on the cave, by the way. And there is a note. Wow. It seems to be part of a longer journal, the rest of which is lost, saying, "Of all the sources we mine from within the silver quell, my yield of saltpeter still proves the most pure and powerful. The fire marks, pry as they might, will have to respect my expertise and my contributions to the war effort. The sheer volume of untapped guano in that cavern behind the top of the falls is invaluable even. And once I have enough marked interest from the Firemark facility, I'll let them help in harvesting my secret cave." That's all you find. Apart from...
Is there gold anywhere? I want to look for gold.
Underneath a floorboard, you do find 70 gold pieces in a hidden pouch.
Well, he wanted 50.
Oh, look, we found 50 gold pieces.
Yeah, there's only 50 here.
So, stealing this woman's savings.
Yeah, basically.
Yep.
You...
She's probably dead.
So that divided by 3 would be 2 6s and 1 7. Rock, paper, scissors for the 7.
Oh, okay.
See who rolls highest.
Yeah.
It's a game.
Okay, I was going to say, are we going to play and just be honest? 17.
7 from me, you get it.
Okay.
So you get the extra gold piece. You head back to the Soot Swallow, where Udolf gestures you into the cellar, actually.
It's definitely 2 7s and a 6. Did you just pocket one of the gold without telling us?
No, I just can't do maths.
I just can't do maths.
I feel like that happens. I'm actually going to stand by that.
Yeah.
And just
you get rock paper scissors wrong. You actually win and think you lose, and so Idris gets the extra.
Yeah, that's what happens.
Piece.
So I end up with 8.
Yeah.
Yes.
He does occasionally bite one to make sure it's real gold.
Yeah.
So, oh no, you get 6, we get 7.
Yeah.
So you head back to the Soot Swallow and you follow Udolf down into a little hidden basement bit behind the cellar. Right. So, got my money?
Yeah, here you go.
Fantastic. All right. So I did a little bit of snooping around the crime scene and might have half-edged a bit of evidence to help you out. So first things first, we have this little bad boy, and he gestures to the corpse of a kobold. A chunk
silver
of
one, perchance?
silver scaled. A chunk of masonry has gone through its chest as part of an explosion and broken some sort of complex clockwork apparatus, which you realise is filled with blasting powder. Yeah,
that would explain a certain thing or two.
Really would, wouldn't it?
Right. Well, got this not far from the cell. Also found a little note smuggled into the cell itself. Fuzz you out. It's a quite tattered, burnt note. You can just make out the words, "Worry not. I am an ally of your something. No questions. Take this ring and follow something something. My humble domain," and the rest of it is destroyed, apart from 2 words at the end, "Stand back."
Wow.
So, you're looking at this kobold, you also notice, though, that the corpse has red mud all over its feet as well.
Huh.
Now, that's
uncharacteristic of the area.
very much. You only get that sort of red mud up high in the Silver Quell, near the source of the waterfall. Yeah, how'd you know?
There we go.
Right. Yeah.
I'm psychic.
Cool. That's useful.
I like how neither of us
Well,
said
at the very
anything.
least, well informed.
Right. Well,
Nah, psychic.
Look, I hope it's not an insensitive question to ask, but are people in the habit of packing themselves actually full of blasting powder here?
no. Well, there was that one chap. Fellow got kicked out about a year ago. Stolmast. Yeah, he was a crazy nutter. Had a habit of cribbing at people's designs. He was trying to do automatons like that one Tinkertop did for the prison. Didn't work out, but he would stuff them up with blasting powder as well. At least until they kicked him out, because few springs short of a watch, as it were.
As a
Never
fail-safe
did that.
against tampering, I could imagine it would be pretty second to none.
Yeah, as I recall, his resignation speech was, "I'll show you all. This is not the last you've heard of
one
me."
of those.
And then they got him out of the building.
I like it. Short to the point. It's good.
Yeah,
Yeah, it gets a
Right.
message across.
yeah. Right,
Character laugh.
that's. I guess that's about everything from my end. Best of luck with finding whatever happened to your escaped jailbird and getting her off to the escape you planned.
Yeah, we've got a other escaper.
Yeah. All right.
Something like that, yes.
Well, toodle pip. I'm going to take my money and spend it on some fuse.
Have fun.
You head on out of the Soot Swallow. So, do you feel you have enough of enough clues to proceed?
I mean, waterfall and secret cave. I think that's where we're going, isn't it? Really?
Right.
Yeah.
It takes
Yeah.
you.
Yeah, no, those
say it
kobolds were
like
big
that.
on visual
I know.
aids, so
Yeah.
let's try and do
It
that.
takes you the better part of a day as you have to journey out, and it's especially difficult getting
Can we fit a
getting
short rest
Gwyneth
in
up.
somewhere so
You
that I can
managed to
use
get a long
arcane
rest.
recovery?
You managed to get a long rest.
How exciting! That's very
A
good.
long rest.
Yes,
Oh,
as
luxurious.
knowing where you're broadly you're going, and it is actually quite an effort to get up there. You are actually forced to take a rest before eventually reaching the top of the waterfall and finding a narrow ledge which leads in, and you can just see leads behind the waterfall. So you can now see the narrow ledge leading up and beyond, past the raging torrent of water. The waterfall, actually, by the way, goes all the way down to Hupperdook, and past it. It's really quite breathtaking. You are also at this point about 1,000 feet above Hupperdook. So
Did your ears just pop?
it's
Oh yeah, yeah. There
yeah,
you go.
it's been a bit of a day's trek getting here. How would you like to proceed?
Stealthily.
Definitely is the
Okay,
best
can you
word
give me
that
all
comes to
stealth check,
mind.
please?
I will tie up
Always.
Gwyneth somewhere.
Oh, no.
That's well good.
Somewhere on the
It's a
floor.
22.
22.
You guard our rear
7.
here, Gwyneth, alright? That's a natural 20.
Hey!
The three of
We
you
can't even see you.
Strangely enough,
scout.
the 6.5-foot tall cow person, not that quiet.
Fortunately, your companions are able to
21 if it makes a difference.
keep you under control. You
Such a good stealth modifier.
Oh, mate.
you make your way across the path behind the waterfall, and it is a narrow and treacherous path. There is just a dead drop in front of you for about a good 1,000 feet until you would hit Hupperdook. So it's a little unnerving, but you peer around the edge until you find, as promised, a hidden cave. It is lit by dim light filtering through the waterfall, and you can see there are a number of figures inside. At the far end of it, there is what appears to be, oddly enough, a solid steel door built into part of the cave. But in front of that, there is a sort of camping location. Someone, or in fact several someones, 6 someones specifically, have set up a tent, a campfire, and they've actually dragged in a table where they've set up a little card game. They appear to be playing, and 5 of them are playing poker. 5 little silver-scaled figures. The 6th silver-scaled figure is messing around with what looks like... It kind of looks like a giant if you made... Well, not a giant, but like maybe an ogre if you made it very badly out of steel and clockwork. And then put a shoulder-mounted cannon on it.
Oh, okay.
The kobold has a pair of goggles on and is giggling and muttering as they're playing around, and you don't think they have the technical expertise to actually be doing any meaningful work on this. They're probably just accidentally sabotaging it. Nearby, there are 2 work tables to which are shackled a pair of prisoners. A young gnomish woman working with machinery with a pair of goggles on herself, and a very irate-looking Sken, the Goliath that you originally came to rescue, seems to have found herself re-imprisoned. She's still got the breastplate on, but they have taken her weapons and her fog-cloudy ring and put it over on the poker table where the kobolds are busy losing it to each other.
Right. I'm going to cast Mage Armor.
Yes.
Mage Armor is what I'm going to do.
No one has seen you yet.
Oh yes, I will do that as well.
Oh, it's so nice when you have 2 people with Mage Armor, because when one of you does it, the other one remembers it. It's lovely.
Yes. No, I forgot that we'd had a long rest, and yes, I would definitely need to do that, because I'm not insane.
Okay, so... what do you want to do? The cavern is about 50 feet from the narrow mouth where you are to the end, but only about 30 feet to where the kobolds are busy at the dice table and the kobold in the giant metal suit is busy tinkering away.
What's our play here?
I think we need to stop the suit pretty quickly.
Yeah.
That one
Yes.
That thing looks nasty.
I can probably freak out all the little guys.
Alright.
I can
Got a really
freak out
scary
one of
thing.
them.
Alright, that could
I
be
can
good.
make one of them more susceptible to some spells.
That's helpful.
Yeah, if you've got something you want to try on it.
Well, I can freak out everyone within 10 feet. If I can get near enough.
That is...
Okay.
All the kobolds are within 10 feet of each other, but
Yeah,
you would
but I
need to get
think-
right... if you mean everyone within 10 feet of you...
Everyone within 10 feet of me, yeah.
Okay.
How near are they right now?
They are 30 feet away. So
Okay,
in
so I
theory,
could,
You could
yeah.
essentially run up and just like...
Do my thing.
Yeah, do your thing.
Out of character, is there a save on that spell?
Yes, charisma, which I figure they're not great
Okay,
in.
because I can give one of them a disadvantage.
Okay, that's not bad.
Yeah. The
It's
one
a
that-
low charisma save. It's DC 11, so it's not high. But I figure they're not going to be high charisma, so we might have a chance.
The one in the suit is not next to the others.
Cool.
They're a good 20 feet away from the others.
All right, if I thin the herd of the little guys, it might be good for maybe you. I gesture at Idris to go for the suit person.
Yeah, if I give you a little bit of an advantage with whatever you want to do on him
Yeah.
or them. Let's be open
well,
there.
Yeah.
Alright. Just from what I can see, are there a bunch of just loose tools or objects around this giant thing? Okay.
Around the giant thing, there are the tools that are on the machinist table, not far away. I'll say like about 10 feet away. And there are the tools that the kobold themselves are using to probably undo all of this hard work.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Okay.
You really don't
Yeah,
think
I
they
will
have any idea what they're doing.
Well, if it's just the one kobold I need to take out, I have an idea.
Cool.
I can,
Okay.
All right, should we go for it?
Is it something with a save? Is this going to be worth me doing?
Yes, it would be something with a save.
Lovely.
A
Then I
con
will
save,
go
I
before you.
believe.
Lovely.
Right.
All right.
Right.
Ready?
Let's do this.
All right. 3, 2,
Alright.
1. I'm gonna
Okay.
literally.
You get a surprise round.
Yeah, I'm gonna walk up to them. The black irises in Tick's eyes spread out so that the full eye is black. The coat billows out, moved by a sort of like invisible wind. I feel like I'm flavouring this still with it. And 2 big black skeletal wings come out of her shoulders. And they all have to make a charisma save or be frightened. It's DC 11. Tick, 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 tick. Yeah, all the clinking and ticking noises really amp up, I feel.
So what was the save again?
DC 11 charisma.
Okay, 1, 2, 3.
Just trying to thin them.
Okay.
Get rid of some of them.
3 of them fail their save.
Okay, 3 of 6. This was too
and
bad.
they are frightened?
Yeah, frightened. So they have to
they immediately
run
go.
away.
2 of them are just sort of rude to the position, but you see them try and grab whatever they can to defend themselves. The others are just panicked. They don't know what the fuck's going on. So who else is acting? Damien?
I will move up to within 15 feet of the one working on the construct.
Okay.
And I will smile at them, and as I do, the colour drains from my skin and it goes grey, but like the grey of a corpse, not the grey of a drow.
Oh.
And the eyes become black, except for like a pinprick of light in the centre. I'm using unsettling presence. They have disadvantage on the next saving throw.
All right.
Within the next minute.
At the same time, then. Your kobold noises are far too cute, Jason.
Can I also bring up my what's it? My echo in the middle of the kobolds if they are within 30 feet of me?
Within 30 feet of you, yes, they are. So you kind of have to manifest
lovely.
it, and then it walks the rest of the way.
Yeah,
Because you manifest it 15 feet away, and then it's
15 feet.
and then
I'm
it
walking through. I figure I do it as I
scuffles,
go.
Yeah. So there's just a moment where you blur, and a shadowy second form of you splits off and walks off in a direction, standing in the middle, just stepping up right onto the top of the poker table, looking down at the various kobolds.
Fun.
Yes, and Idris.
Is the construct within 10 feet of the poker table?
No.
All right.
The construct's a good 20 feet away from the poker table.
Centered on the kobold, then, by the construct, I'm going to cast Shatter.
Okay, the kobold is in the construct.
I will cast Shatter then.
Okay.
Yeah, I will definitely cast Shatter centered on the construct then.
Cool. Could you remind me what Shatter does, please? Off the top of my head.
Yes, each creature within a 10-foot radius sphere centered on the point must make a Constitution saving throw, or take...
With disadvantage.
Yes, 3d8 thunder damage.
Okay.
A creature made of inorganic metal, such as inorganic material, rather, such as stone, crystal, or metal, has disadvantage.
Disadvantage, which it already had anyway. Cool, fine. It makes 10, so roll damage.
Okay, that is 11 thunder damage.
Okay, there is a sound as one of the arms of this thing just falls off, splintering, cogs pinwheel away. But the other arm and the shoulder-mounted cannon remain intact, and the kobold peeks its head out, having taken cover from the majority of the blast by virtue of hiding in the shell.
Fair.
You've significantly damaged this thing, but it is still there. And at that point, I'm going to say, everyone roll initiative, please.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
11.
Okay.
5.
That is a 13.
Okay, and 13. Okay, so with a 13, Tick, you go first.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah, the kobolds rolled
Dear
terribly.
God, I've not rolled that well, but I've gone first a lot today, gang. So
there are 3 terrified kobolds and 2 not terrified kobolds within 10 feet of you.
Mm-hmm. Is the suit one within 60 feet?
Yes.
Okay. Continuing on the necrotic vein, I'm going to turn round. The ghostly skeletal wings are still out. The eyes are still black.
Mm-hmm.
I take an hourglass out of my coat, a really small one. I turn it over, the sand goes black, and I kind of like flick my wrist. It looks like black sand comes out of it. I'm going to cast Ray of Sickness on the kobold in the suit, which is an attack roll, so I need to check if that hits or not. Oh, honey. That would not hit, but I'm going to use my reaction and again turn a clock backwards, so it goes towards it, it misses, time turns backwards, and I flick it again.
Position. Yep, go for it.
And it will hit, which is very exciting that it worked. So yeah, that's a dirty 20. That's going to hit.
Effective Ray of Sickness?
It is 2d8 necrotic damage.
Okay, roll damage.
Plus a bit because I'm already doing other Asimar stuff, basically. So that is 8 plus another 3, which is 11. So yeah,
11. Okay, that's with the as it happens, you hear the kobold inside go, "Ah!" and promptly vomit up over the side of the machinery. The vomit gets trapped in the curling cogs and wheels of the machine, which begin to grind and squeak and squeal as parts of it start to go haywire. It's not actually down yet.
Apologies, it does not say necrotic. It's a sickening greenish energy. It also needs to make a con save or it's poisoned, basically.
Shielded by the machine itself. The kobold inside is not poisoned, and the machine cannot be poisoned.
Cool.
Because the
But
machine...
it does take the damage?
Yes, it takes the damage. The machine shields its pilot.
Cool.
Okay, that I think is your go then.
That's me.
So, Damien.
Can I attack the kobold inside? Is that a thing that can be done?
You can try to. I'm going to be blunt. The attack is going to be versus the machine as well, because it's like it has like as you approach, the kobold slams a button and a little protective mesh pops over its head. So it's got like it's in like a little cage.
Help. Okay, I will swing my sword at it.
Okay, go for it.
And the echo will do exactly the same. Because
echo has
I've got 3 uses of that a day.
Yeah, go for it.
So, that's not good though. It's only a 10.
10. Yeah, you strike down, but it clangs off the metallic cage around the little kobold. Throws up again.
And the shadow is the echo is going to go at one of the frightened kobolds next to it. Do you get advantage against frightened things?
Frightened things have disadvantage to attack you, but not the other way around.
Okay.
But just for the sake of terror, you totally can. That does hit the kobold. Roll damage.
7.
Yep, you slice the kobold's head off. It flings off to the side. Its body topples backwards, and you start to hear the ticking sound coming from its chest.
I will action surge.
Okay.
And do the same thing again.
Nice.
Okay, both attacks.
Swing both my real and not real swords. So against construct, that is a 17.
That is enough to hit. Roll damage.
Okay, that is a whole 7. And against I'm going to go for the non-frightened kobold. It was a 15 to hit.
Yep, hits. Roll damage.
The fear effect has ended. It's
And
the end of
another
my
6.
next turn.
Cool.
Just to let you know.
Thank you.
Okay. So it's 6 damage against the kobold.
Okay, so that is not quite enough to kill it outright, but it does leave a hearty slash across its chest. The one that goes against the construct batters it, shatters through the protective casing, and manages to slash into the kobold itself, cutting deep into its throat. It puts a hand up desperately and starts wiggling the controls, trying to do something. And
there you are.
As the controls activate, the shoulder-mounted cannon turns to face you,
God.
and is going to fire. That is a 16 to hit you.
Doesn't hit.
Okay,
I've got a shield.
It misfires, and you see a section of the wall behind the section of the cabin wall splinters apart. Its remaining hand, the remaining hand of the robotic machine, as it teeters forward, tries to smack you, and just clangs off your shield. Ah! This kobold screams in frustration. The other kobolds, I'm just gonna. How are they feeling? Okay, no, they're gonna fight. Slash. One tries to hit your echo, misses. Another tries to hit your echo. Yeah, they were really bad. Managed to get a 19.
19 will hit the echo.
Okay, the echo shatters out of existence. The other two, realizing what's happening, go instead for Tick. And both miss horribly.
Cool.
Trying, just like grabbing little spears and stabbing up and looking and then going, Draconic. Yeah, this isn't worth our paycheck. Nah, fuck it. And they're going to try and run. Tick, you can make an attack of opportunity against one of them if you've still got your reaction, which you might
I don't.
not
No,
have.
it's gone.
Okay, yeah. The four of them are just going to bugger off towards the exit to the cave.
We'll just sort of watch them go with like an apathetic
The one in the
expression.
machine is like, wait, where are you going? Fuck! Idris.
Okay, Idris is going to unsheath his dagger, go up to the construct in as menacing a way as he possibly can, and then at the last moment drop it and exhale a lightning bolt at it.
This is
using
just
his brass weapon.
Save for half damage, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. You don't need to roll
Dex
anything. I don't need to roll anything. How do you want to do this?
Made out of metal. All right. So he's kind of going up to it like, huh? Yes, yeah, you want some? You want some? Blah! And it slams into the chest of the thing. It, I would imagine, arcing out across the entirety of its form, frying the kobold in his seat.
Oh,
and
yeah.
The thing would just slowly rock and fall down into bits.
The whole thing is electrified. The kobold inside is charred. It rocks. It falls down. And the kobold self-destruct mechanism activates, blasting out the inside of the machine. You are knocked back. The kobold, seeing that, you run away from the poker table as that kobold also, which was knocked down, explodes.
I throw myself away from the explosion dramatically.
And yes, it's very dramatic. You are momentarily backlit as it happens.
It's like Draconic New Year!
Before landing dramatically on the ground. As this happens, you can see that there is a knocked away from it in the wreckage. There is a thick iron key which you pick up. You can see the two captive prisoners, Sken Zabris, the Goliath, and also who you can only presume is Nima, the gnome. Looks up. Oh, are you here to rescue me?
No.
I mean, not really,
doing
but
the other
you can come if you want.
Do you unlock her?
You were not the designated rescuee, but I mean, we're happy to take you.
Okay, if you unlock it, she immediately just says, "Thank you." The kobold says, he goes, "Thank you. You've got to that man in there, that human in there is a madman. He stole all of my inventions, and now I don't even know." And she just runs off. The Goliath massages her wrists. Yeah, well, that was embarrassing.
You had a rubbish day, ain't
Yeah.
you?
Yeah. Oh, shit. Nice work with
What?
the, she gestures to what you're doing. But I got bad news.
Yeah.
What?
So the guy who did all this is this human called Stolmast. He used to be an inventor for for those locked down in Hupperdook. Well, turns out he was being... nods to you, Damien. Some of our lot were sending in materials to help finance some sort of mad revenge project. She gestures to the broken down, exploded machine.
Oh, right.
Which was all going fine, and he was supposed to help break me out as part of the arrangement. Only thing is, he learned during the escape, obviously I did the echo thing, and he's been taking notes. I think he's been working in a way to try and get machines that can use dunamancy. And if he does that, forget all the mad shit he did before, the Empire's going to welcome back like their lost golden child.
Ooh.
So we kill him.
I think we're going to have to.
Destroy his work.
You look forward, and
Right.
the steel door ahead, you can hear the ticking sound from within. But that is an adventure for another time. Thank you all for playing. Thank you all for listening. Thank you, Matthew Mercer, for creating this entire setting.
Yes.
Thank you, Wizards of the Coast.
Thank you to Podcasts of Wildemount and the organisers for letting us be part of this thing. It's been great fun.
Very much.
Yes.
And farewell from all of us here at Flintlocks and Fireballs. Fair seas and natural 20s. Natural 20s. Natural 20s. Natural 20s. Natural 20s. Natural 20s.